Today we're doing an experiment. Can I beat Elden Ring and kill every single Remembrance boss in less than 24 hours while my chat donates money to a wonderful charity to take away my weapons and armor, ban me from dodging or blocking, or just straight up make me end myself? Let's see how you're gonna hurt me, chat. Well, Hi, my name's Winter, and this year I'm donating 100% of the money I made in December to charity, which includes the revenue from this video, so let's see how much we can raise together. Enough talk! Let's get into the challenge. Here's a list of all the things my chat could donate to absolutely bully me, and as stated earlier, I need to beat the entire game and every major boss in the base game plus the DLC. That's 26 major bosses in less than 24 hours, but that's not hard enough, so if I die 100 times throughout the run, I instantly fail the challenge and my community gets to decide my punishment. So without further ado, let's start the challenge and start raising money for charity. Oh, and follow my Twitch. Follow my Twitch if you want to take part in future challenges. I named my character Goop Blunkins, picked the Stone Sword key as my item, started as a samurai to quickly get a bleed weapon, and then speed ran the spawn dungeon you're not supposed to do to get to the tree spirit for some runes before my chat could mess with me. Too easy, chat. Hopefully that ages well. I quickly sprinted to meet Malenia to invest my runes into levels, but things were going a bit too smoothly as people began to fill into my chat. After leveling up, I got my first 2 donations from Choaficer and Trijiwi, who both spun the mystery wheel. Come on, first spin, big money, no whammies, let's see how it goes. Well, after spinning the wheel again and being forced to enact non-living by my chat twice, I began to explore the map to gather smithing stones for upgrades. Got all the normal items from churches like you'd get for any playthrough, and then teleported to Caelid to kill Grayol the dragon for some easy runes. Or, that was the plan. You see, several minutes into chopping away at her 87,000 health, my friend and fellow content creator Hachidori Hanabi decided to donate $25 to take away my bleed weapon. Thank you so much for the charitable donation, you son of a very kind person. This setback was annoying, but it was also temporary. I hopped onto a different boss and just watched it fall off a cliff. Enemy felled. Sure did. Haha, funny. With the levels I got from that, I returned to Limgrave to get the flail, and then started Yura's questline and beat the hell out of Patches to get his recipe for bird feet. Then I returned to the dragon for a bunch of easy runes, but as I continued to gather materials around the map, Trijiwi made me remove all my armor until I died, which, that happens a lot this playthrough, so enjoy that. I killed a couple bosses for the runes and a couple items, and then traveled to Caelid to get a bunch of checkpoints for later in the run. And with that, I was naked, lubed up, and ready to fight Margit, the first difficult boss of the game, but still not one of the 26 I needed for the challenge, although we're getting there. Let's see how I did. As low as $1. Oh my god, my controller just went everywhere. The batteries! No! I'm turning on the controller as fast as I can. Margit, don't do this to me. Okay, I'm good. I immediately dropped my controller, which exploded, sending batteries across the room. Luckily, I was able to gather them before the cutscene fully ended and defeated Margit without much issue. After this, I decided to run through the front gate of Stormvale Castle because I thought it'd be funny. Quickly ran through the dungeon to get the Claw Talisman, but right before I could get it, Choaficer made me spin the wheel again. This banned me from using talismans for an hour, which made all of my work useless, but I still picked it up for later anyway and kept going to fight Godrick, mostly because I was 2 hours into the run and still hadn't killed any of the 26 bosses I needed to. I was feeling really confident going into Godrick the Grafted, and it was going extremely well, but that was when I learned that my chat was simply waiting for me to enter major boss fights to dunk on me completely. Right as I hit phase 2, Grumpy Rat banned me from rolling or blocking for 15 minutes, meaning I could only dodge by jumping or maybe running away at best. I'm sure I did well. Let's cut to the live cam to see how I adjusted. No dodging and blocking. Got it. Hup! Ow. I got stuck on a gravestone. Oh, I just rolled. Kill me. Clearly, I didn't adjust well, and this became all-out war with chat. Grumpy Rat doubled down and donated $15 again to extend the dodge and block ban to 30 minutes, which forced me to commit to the fight with just running. I tried using armor again, and after a couple tries and several donations to get me naked every time I put on armor, I entered the arena, adjusted my play, and learned the fight, without rolling or blocking, and Godrick fell soon after. Moving on to Liurnia, I continued Yura's questline and hung out with Bogart for a bit, but while collecting resources, chat decided to strip me next life too. And while collecting and lighting up areas and sites of graces, tragedy struck, and by tragedy, I mean, I was very dumb. Uh-oh, Dark Souls and Oh my god.
I don't understand what's going on here.
After killing the magma worm, we had a lot to do in the Altus Plateau, but I had hit $100 raised, which means I had to spin the wheel for free. I spun it, ended up getting a double spin, and then had to delete my armor and fight the next boss blindfolded. Continuing to grab upgrade materials from around the world, I finally got the two most important weapons for the run, the Ant Spur Rapier for the end of the DLC, and Naga Kiba, the weapon I needed for the rest of the game. I had to get my blindfolded run over with, so I went to Caria Manor after upgrading my weapon, and here's how I did against Loretta's illusion. Okay, they're closed. I'm just swinging. I can hear I'm gonna just keep rolling in until I'm there and start swinging. Oh, I'm out of stamina, aren't I? I need to regain stamina because I can hear myself just swinging really slowly. Okay, that was a melee swing, so they're close to me. I heard the spell end. Oh, I'm dead. After getting my revenge and heading to the Academy of Raya Lucaria, I got banned from using healing items in my next boss fight, but killed the next boss in 4 attacks, so, oops. I quickly killed Renala, and since I was behind schedule at 3.5 hours in, I immediately went to fight Radon. For those who don't know, Radon is one of the most infamous bosses of the base game, and technically the DLC. He used to be a lot harder, but he can still be kinda challenging for a lot of people. He actually killed me a couple times, which is admittedly embarrassing as I don't get to practice him a lot, but after doing an emote in the middle of the fight, I eventually locked in and remembered how to beat him. After a little patience and a lot of turning my black gamer chair brown, I did kill him in only 3 lives after a very close battle. We were now 4 hours into a potentially 24-hour challenge, but I only had 3 of 26 bosses done so far, so if I wanted to beat the challenge, I'd have to play smarter. I decided to make progress on 3 bosses at once, so I quickly made my way to Nokron and enjoyed a fight with my naked shadow clone right before crossing a very beautiful bridge, lighting the summoning fires, and doing battle with the beautiful regal ancestor spirit. Now, unfortunately, there was a little bit of a lull in the donations, so nothing special happened this fight other than, you know, this, which was a really cool way of ending it, absolutely sick, but the next hour was kind of boring, so, you know, It's minigame time! Surprise, it's minigame time! You thought you were safe, but you're never safe from minigame time! This minigame is called Sword Fighting with Your Bros, my favorite minigame! Here's the quiz question of the minigame. Can you tell me how many sword-wielding enemies there are in Elden Ring? Is it A, at least 7, B, at most 7, C, I'm thinking 7, D, 2,248 or 2,249 if you classify Midra as holding a sword instead of a pike, or is it E, Jeff? Got your answers? Well, the answer is, I don't know, man. Did you really think I'd count? If you really thought I'd count, here's a black screen so you can look at your reflection and wonder just where you went wrong. I'm just kidding, buddy. You're helping me raise money for charity. Love you. Back to the video. Another hour passed as I gathered smithing stones from around the world, and then did all of Vare's questline to get access to Mohgwyn Palace. Now, Mohg is a boss you normally fight at level 100 to 120, sometimes even higher. I was level 70, and because nobody let me use a Great Rune, and my weapons were only half upgraded, I was at a severe disadvantage, and it would be stupid to fight him now. Which is exactly why I did that. I wonder how it went. Check this shit out, chat. This is absolute light work. Easy dodge, easy. No, ow. All things considered, my first attempt went pretty well, but I still choked at the last second. My second attempt went way smoother, albeit still pretty close, but beating Mohg gave me 15 levels and access to the DLC early. However, before doing that, I needed to speedrun some prep. I moved on to the capital, killing the Draconic Tree Sentinel, and then prepped the Treasure of Nokron for Ranni's quest. I fought the dual gargoyles, where I was made to strip again, but cleared them pretty quickly. With them dead, I was able to prep the Deep Root Depths for later, and then finished Ranni's quest to unlock the run to Estelle. With Ronnie's quest done for now, it let me go to the inverted tower to get the curse mark for Fia, but that's when chat struck a deal with me. After seeing the inverted tower, some members of chat demanded that I jump to my death, so I said that if someone donated $20 in the next minute, I'd give them 2 free wheel spins and jump to my death for free. 30 seconds later, I was about to finish the tower when War With It took the deal, which ended up banning me from healing for an hour and forced me to play Pokemon Showdown until I win. If I hit, I kill. I win. Let's go! Back to the game. Lightning round, Volcano Manor, dead people, Volcano Manor, more dead people, Snake Friend. Killer Dad! Well, not quite yet. I went to the capital to complain to Marika about the crippled economy, and still not having bought enough time to be allowed to heal, I accidentally challenged Golden Godfrey. I need to not be greedy. I literally can't heal. What am I doing? Chat was pretty mad at me for winning because I was in armor, so they made me get naked while playing with my Ronnie doll, which is the second time I've had to say that in my life, and it will not be the last. Still unable to heal, I speed ran through Noxtella and fought the baleful shadows to unlock the Lake of Rot, and right as the timer on the no healing ended, I offered chat another deal. To reach our secondary goal of $200 raised for Doctors Without Borders, I offered that for $50 I would not be allowed to use Torrent for an hour, I immediately had to do 3 wheel spins, and I had to permanently ban Spirit Ashes, which I hadn't really used yet, but I might need to use them later in the run if I had cut close to the time. The Gears noob, a very generous soul, immediately took up that offer. This immediately killed me twice and spun Cowboy Advice. If you want to know what Cowboy Advice is, I guess you'll just have to stop by my Twitch to redeem one yourself using channel points or watch someone else do it. I'll stream a lot more in 2025, so I hope you stop by. After all of this prep, the 1 hour of no healing was over, so I crossed the Lake of Rot to kill Estelle. I've always loved this weird boss's design, but I never really got to show off much of his attacks other than his meteor attack. Instead, it was just kind of an easy win. That's 5 out of 26 down. Since I couldn't use Torrent to go through the Forbidden Lands, I decided to fight some bosses, starting with Morgott. He's always been weirdly easy to me, but I embarrassingly died once this time. Got him on the second try, though. I then did one of the easiest bosses in-game, Fia's Champions. They almost killed me. Like, actually, it was really close. I was deeply ashamed, as honestly I deserved to be. I then did Rykard, and was forced again to strip in the middle of the fight, but it all worked out in the end. At this point, it was extremely late at night, and my viewership had dropped by 3 times as much, so there wasn't any donations for the next 2 hours, allowing me to freely do whatever I needed to do. Knowing that I would have a ton of European viewers turning in soon, as it became afternoon, and knowing I had a ton of American viewers who said they wanted to come back in the morning, and I had a friend's raid to anticipate, I began getting all of the prep and boss battles nobody enjoys watching out of the way, so my viewers could show up and I could do a lot of fun bosses in a row. After all, I wanted to make sure everyone had something fun to watch, so I waited for them to wake up. However, during the prep work for upgrading my weapon, I was forced to strip again, and then died. And then immediately was forced to strip again, which I think I need to spray my chat with a bottle when this is over. After fully upgrading my weapon, I decided to treat chat to Placidusax, Malekith, Gideon, and Godfrey as a treat. So here's all the coolest parts of those fights. I kind of just want to montage through them because there were no donations, and the point of the video is the donations, and so I'm kind of just gonna skip over the fights that didn't really have any. With that, I was almost ready to beat the base game, but I wanted to give people a last-minute chance to change the ending if they wanted, so I spent the next 2 hours blasting through the DLC without fighting any major bosses to collect all the Scottistry fragments I needed to survive. I'd now been streaming for almost 12 hours straight, and my mind was slightly breaking down. This was my second ever stream of all time, and I had decided to make it a 24-hour stream. To keep my mind sharp, I did battle with the Dancing Lion. After all, those who stuck around for the prep deserved another fun fight to watch. Then I finished off Lich Dragon Fortisax, which is such an underrated fight. If you use the Dragon Slayer Great Katana, it's one of the coolest you can do, especially if you don't fully upgrade it to kind of draw out the fight, which I didn't do, so here's the win. Also, from this point forward, since donations were happening less frequently, I made literally everything you can do to me half price, just to try to push for a $300 raised mark. I know it doesn't seem like much, but we're a very small community, so I'm really proud of what we raised together, and when we add in my donation at the end, that's easily 4 figures, which I'm really proud of. Which, by the way, let me just take a quick second to thank you, the viewer. You watching the video to the end and engaging with it, be it liking, subscribing, or commenting, is really helping me raise money for charity, so I truly do appreciate the support. Thank you, truly. Now, back to the fun stuff. Nearly 13 hours in, I was exhausted, but that's when Hachidori Hanabi returned with her stream raiding me, and for her audience, I had to put on a show. Malenia time. The first run was close, but I messed up my waterfowl dodge due to exhaustion, and that's when I realized this would be a lot harder than I expected due to real-life fatigue. Neolite donated to spin the wheel twice, which killed me instantly again, but also deleted my current weapon. Since it was a wheel spin, I got to choose which weapon, so I deleted my Uchi Katana, but with just the Nagakiba, the range and attack pattern of my weapon drastically changed, and my bleed buildup and damage dropped by half. This really threw me off, but on the 8th try, I managed to pull it off. I replaced my deleted Uchi Katana with Rivers of Blood, since it's the closest thing to a second Uchi Katana I could get without going into New Game Plus. And since chat was hyped off the win, I jumped straight into R'Lana. What followed was perhaps the cleanest R'Lana kill I've done in a long time, so I moved on to Bale.
Curse you, Bale! I hereby vow you will rue this day!
Oh, I got greedy. No, I didn't. Oh, I love phase 2 so much. I don't even care if that ruins it. That was awesome. This fight was incredible, and I almost did it in one try, but he spammed like 6 ultimate attacks in a row without giving me a chance to fight back, and I just couldn't keep up. A couple tries later, he too fell, but this is my favorite boss in any FromSoft game. I just want to give a little bit of attention to him. I mean, look at the guy! Oh man, anyway. After 3 incredible bosses in a row, the views dipped back down, so I got to prepping. It was mostly a bunch of minor boss fights and quests, including the Meteor fight, as a little bit of a treat for the 12 people still watching in the dead of night. Next, I finished all the prep for Midra, including backstabbing the hell out of Jory because it's easy and it does a lot of damage, and then started prepping for Romina. Out of nowhere though, chat started donating again to do wheel spins, which made me take double damage for 45 minutes and once again forced me to play Pokemon Showdown, which was another instant win. However, they kept going, and the next wheel spin made me play Pokemon again, which, after winning immediately, made me so bored I fought Devonia for no reason, completely forgetting I was taking double damage. I got bullied instantly, and kept running at her over and over again, and died over and over. 2 wheel spins again. A Pokemon again? It was the worst game I've ever played. I got frozen twice and was paralyzed every turn, but fortunately the second game I won, and I actually won 2 games because the first guy wasn't moving fast enough, so I started doing 2 matches at the same time. I was so tired and annoyed, but at least it can't get any worse. Oh, god damn it. After deleting Rivers of Blood, I realized I desperately needed to beat bosses again before they got rid of Nagakiba, the only weapon I had left. First Gaius went down, then Scottitry Avatar like 3 times, then Romina, then Putrescent Knight, next Mesmer, and finally Midra fell, and nothing was able to stop me. Each fight came and went quickly, and at this point, chat was kinda just cheering me on as I tore through the game in my sleepy delirium. I was now 16 hours into the stream and finally in the last area of the DLC, and near a limb. But now, the part of my audience that sabotaged me constantly earlier in the run was now awake and came back into chat to terrorize me before the finish line. Challenge, don't make me restart. No talismans for an hour! Fuck! I'm at the end of the game! Ooh, cowboy advice. Suddenly, things weren't looking good for me. Sunana came in and donated $30 to instantly kill me, and that's when I realized chat's strategy. They'd now banded together under a unified banner to try to stop me during Consort Radon, the final boss of the DLC and the hardest in the game. Spocolus then banned me from healing during the upcoming fight. This took us over $300, giving another wheel spin. We'd just reached our final goal, but we weren't done yet. The final boss of the DLC is widely considered one of, if not the hardest bosses in the entire game, which means I had to do the final boss with 0 healing items, no talismans, and I needed to slip in an emote during it since Sunana paid for one ahead of time. But what if I told you that this was the closest fight of the entire run? Your data sucks? Enjoy. I'm sorry, war with it. Bow. Okay, there goes my jest. There's the emote that you paid for. What's my... Oh, I'm Bloodhound Step. Ooh. Phase 2.
We're done.
Someone who wants to give money to charity in the holiday season? That's who? See? I knew that hit would get me. It was that move specifically that I knew would kill me at some point. I'm dead. God, close. So close, but after a handful of attempts, I had one of the most beautiful non-hitless fights I've ever done, even ending in a flourish. Now, please keep in mind, I'm not an Elden Ring YouTuber or a challenge runner. I'm just some idiot. From here, we just had one boss left, Radagon and Elden Beast, the final boss of the actual game. I decided to collect and upgrade the weapon Starfist to fight the final boss of the game with, but then Ellis's Pog donated $10 to spin the wheel twice, which deleted my current weapon and forced me to fight Radagon blindfolded, so there goes that weapon. I changed my weapon to the Giant Crusher, and on the first attempt against Radagon, I actually almost beat him blindfolded, and even dodged a handful of attacks, but I just couldn't manage it in the end. On the next attempt, going in with the ability to see, I beat him easily and absolutely annihilated Elden Beast, no problem. And with that, we officially, well, almost. I just have a tiny bit more to do. For one, I had to spin the wheel real quick, but I also wanted to give chat a little more time to end my run. I left to go do the Ronnie Age of Stars ending really quickly to give chat a little bit more time to restart me with mystery wheels. This gave chat 4 more chances to spin the wheel, and what happened next made me fear for my life. Here's how these rolls went. Missed, fuck you, cowboy advice. Let's go, Cowboys! Okay, come on. Okay, delete my weapon. There goes Nagakiba. Let's go. Come on, come on, come on. I delete my dagger, I guess? And I'm safe. That was scary. And with that, I completed the challenge, but the video's not quite over yet. We're not done raising money for charity together, so I'd like your attention for just a few more minutes. That's all I ask. If you didn't know, this is my holiday special, and I'm dividing every holiday special I do into 3 parts: community, charity, and sincerity. What you just watched was the community portion, so to kick off the charity portion of this year's special, I want to make it clear what I'm going to do every year from now on. From this year onward, for as long as YouTube's a platform, I will donate 100% of the profits I make from any source for the entire month of December. That includes YouTube, Twitch, future merch I make, birthday money. Hell, if I get a job as a urologist, I'll donate that paycheck too. Clearly I'm qualified. Have you seen the way I put on this glove? Spread 'em. This is how much money I've made in December as of editing, and here's the total we raised from the Twitch charity campaign. But the campaign isn't over yet. You can help, but you don't even have to donate to do it. Please like, comment, share, or do whatever else you'd be willing to do if you like the video. The more engagement and watch time I get, the more this video will get recommended, and that means even more money for charity from this video's revenue. You don't even have to donate, just your watch time and engagement makes it spread more. If you do want to donate though, you can go to the link in the description or the pinned comment. I'm going to keep the campaign going until the middle of January, so if you want to contribute directly to Doctors Without Borders without giving Twitch or YouTube a penny, use that link. I've also left a link to the charity's donation page directly if you'd prefer that. This year's charity is Doctors Without Borders, a wonderful charity that provides emergency medical and disaster relief to over 70 countries that desperately need it. I'm not personally able to give medical relief, but what I can do is give my time, and I still want to contribute something physical. I decided to make a little over a dozen warm meals for the local unhoused population. I live in a massive urban center, so there's a lot of them, but this is all I could manage for now on my budget. I made them a baked mac and cheese and some fajita chicken and vegetables, and here's me loading them into some portable containers. This is hard to do with one hand. Me playing Marvel Rivals. or Minecraft YouTubers interacting with their fans. I'm not going to film myself handing them out, as I don't want to violate the unhoused people's privacy by shoving a camera in their face and exploiting their unfortunate situation for views, so I'm sorry, but you'll just have to take my word that I handed them out. Oh, and don't worry, I asked if each of them had any known food allergies before I handed them out. Okay, that's the community and charity sections of the video done, but I just want to do one last thing and just talk to you guys for a moment. I know it's been a lot of fun and goofs, and I'm a very energetic person with a lot of animation in my voice, but I want to slow down for a second and get real and just tell you all what you really mean to me. This year, I lost a close friend of mine, my dad. I've lost a lot of people to a lot of different causes before, but this year has by far been the loneliest year of my life. But he always believed in me and my dreams of bringing people together and making them feel something, whether that's joy, laughter, crying, horror, or whatever else I can do through my art and my stories and my stupid little shenanigans, but I never really knew how right he was in his belief. In just August, I had no videos and barely any subscribers, just the 100 or so bots I'd accumulated over 10 years of having an account, and now, just 5 videos in, I'm almost a quarter of the way. Actually, no, as of making this video, I'm over a quarter of the way to 100,000 subscribers. From the incredibly kind comments and people anticipating what I make next, to the insanely uplifting reactions to the stuff I do, to the people reaching out to donate to the holiday special, no matter how much they could give, I've gotten to live out what feels like the start of a very long journey in following a dream I've had since I was a little kid, and I want everyone to know how deeply grateful I am. And in return for your support, I promise to upload more than once a month starting next year. I know my schedule's been a mess, I'm sorry for that, but I'm learning and I'm getting faster. So, now that the year's almost over, I just want to say that I'm proud of you. Whether it's millions of you watching, or thousands, or hundreds, or even just one person, I want you to know that I'm genuinely proud of you. There's been some good this year, and there's been some bad, and for some of us, there's been a lot more bad than good, but this isn't what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to say that I'm proud of you for being here with me. For some, maybe today was the worst day in a long time, or maybe it was the best, but you all have one thing in common. If you're watching this, it means you're still breathing. You're still here because you're trying. You're doing your best. Thank you for making it this far, and I mean that. I'm honored to be living in the same time as you, and I'm truly so proud of you for staying strong and spending some time with me today, no matter how short that time was. My life was made better by having you in it today, in the little ways that you were. I have a lot of dreams and goals going into the new year, but my sincerest hope is that you'll still be here next year too. I hope you enjoyed my first ever holiday special. I know that I enjoyed having you. Please remember that you're loved, that you're cared for, and that you're important, and I'm glad you're here with me. I'll see you next year, okay? Happy holidays. Oh, and since this is an Elden Ring video after all, don't you dare go hollow.